All right, here we go. This one, this is a Cobra 2000 that was sent in. It actually had, it came in, the meters were moving. She had no receive audio. It's like it was on squelch. Now, we repaired that. I'm gonna let you guys know what that problem is. Back here, in the last roll of cans vertically or horizontally, as the orientation of the radio is faced towards you, on the side of this third can is D, I think it's 24. Right there. That little guy right there, switching diode. What happens is it gets leaky and then under a load it shorts. And what it does is it mutes your receive audio, like you don't have the mic plugged in or like the squelch is on. So we took care of that, and he's got another gnarly problem with the mic jack, which we're going to show you in a minute. But I want to show you guys a couple things here. That's the first thing. When you guys have that problem, check that diode if you're at all savvy. Just pull it and switch it. Put a 1N4148, just a general switching diode in there. And if your audio comes back on your receive, that's fine. In this situation, you will have transmit audio, but nothing on receive. It'll drive you nuts. I think it's D24. It's right next to that last roll of horizontal cans. You see it right there. Okay, so that takes care of it. You get that problem, that'll solve that problem mostly, usually. If it doesn't, then you got to go to your squelch circuit. There's a problem there. Now, this gentleman's pretty electronic savvy. You can see there's some fresh, bright, new red caps in there. I think he went through here. Matter of fact, I know he did. I talked to him. He went through and tried to, he freshened it up some. But the reason he bought it was it is a very clean radio. As I was getting ready to do this piece on the front, which we're going to show you how we do that in a minute, I noticed that the modulation meter was like kind of loose in the hole. And then when I got behind it and got to looking, just had a little bad luck. But I noticed that these old meters, you see how yellowed that is? Okay. And look, this one periodically would drop back like that on me. And I don't know what caused that. I don't know if it ever did that to Doc when he had it. This guy's a doctor. And see there, it's gone. I don't know if it's from shipping or what. It's gone a little goofy. So I'm putting a new set, well, not a new set, a pulled set, but a nice bright white. See the difference here, okay? We're just going to replace both meters for them and be done with it. Now, the other thing is, when you guys replace lights and stuff in the front of these units, and the reason I'm telling you guys all this, I'm going to start showing you guys all the little tricks, because general routine repairs, we're not going to be doing anymore. We're going to be sticking to our guns on custom upgrades, custom builds, and our birdcage amplifier line. It makes no sense for you guys to pay $40 to ship me a radio here, and I'm going to change that diode or whatever, and the rest of the unit doesn't get addressed, and then we send it back, and you got a sideband problem 2 weeks later, you send it back. That's nuts. If you guys want us to work on anything, repair anything from now on, it's a full restoration or it's nothing. As of January 1st. If you need to send something in that has a problem, if you want a full electronic restoration, and we will restore the front as perfectly as we can, that's what we're going to do from now on. There is no more repair this and repair that on a Cobra 2000 or DAX or any of them. It's full-blown restoration, or please find somebody else to do it. Okay, because I found a few things in this one, like a switch bank. They had it rigged in there. Doc knows about that. I showed him. All right, talked to him. I talked to him when we found this problem back here again on a different radio. So now the front tins on this are nice. And what we're going to do is, we'll show you what's going on with the mic check next. Here, we're going to flip the radio up. First, I'm going to slam these meters in. We're going to turn this thing up, and we're going to get on with fixing what was wrong with the mic jack that was driving me nuts, and the echo board control. So we'll be back in just a short. Okay. We got our new meter movements in. We're all put back together. But now I'm going to show you guys something else that you could do with this, or something else about working on this radio, okay? I can't count how many times I've seen guys that need to replace a lamp or something in the front of these units, okay? See how this top hinges? See how this whole face hinges? Most guys don't realize you take this screw out, you take this screw out, you pull these two guys loose, and this whole face will fold forward. I'm going to show you that in a second. First, though, I also noticed, and this just comes from us doing a lot of restorations, the screws that go in the sides here. You see how that one's got a beveled top, but it's countersunk? The one that was in here was a regular flat top countersunk screw. We're going to put that right. There wasn't even one in here, and there is a flat top countersunk screw. That's the wrong screw for this face. Okay, so we're going to fix that. Not even fix it, we're just going to change and put the right stuff in. Nice bright meter movements now. Okay. But I noticed something else now. This is a very nice channel kit, and we have to pull an alignment on this thing anyway. But this is more than a regular alignment. When you see a kit like this, if it's been put in properly like this one has, this is a very nice kit. I've used them before. It has a trimmer for every bank that you put on here. Now, what I don't understand, somebody went through a lot of work to install this thing nicely, but they didn't align everything. So let's look at that. We're on channel 22. Let's go to 19. Everybody knows 19. It should be 1850. Now, with our clarifier at 12 o'clock on this bank, we're way up at 6.7. If I take and dial this back here to 50, look how far back I got to go. Center slot on this bank is in between 9 and 10 o'clock. Okay? But now watch what happens. 1850. Let's go to the upper bank. Let's just switch banks. Now look what happens. Instead of landing on 6350, it's on 6334. That's a matter of aligning these trimmers together from all the read 50 after you've gotten the main bank of 40 on center slot with the clarifier. So we're going to do all that. So let's shut this off. Okay. So now you need to work on these lights or something. Do not take a screwdriver and do this mess. Go in here and try to take this screw out. And it's a beveled top screw. Make sure it goes back in there, because guys that, like me that restore these notice that stuff. Take those two screws out. Make sure the unit's off. Unplug. Now, if you take these two screws out, boom, boom, you pull the display plugs for the counter. These are really tight on this one. There we go. One. There's that one. Now you'll notice at this point, look at that. Now how easy is it to work on this face? And the only thing you got to watch is when you're folding it forward, not to damage the channel selector control PCB right here. Okay? Watch this edge. If you have to, push this down, pull it out of the way, get this bent forward. Now you can work on everything in the front of this radio very comfortably. Okay? So there's that little lesson. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to throw the seconds on this clock. Or we're going to add the seconds to his clock. That's a matter of just putting a diode in here. So that's how you work on the face. That's all of that. Now, I'm going to put the face back together correctly. We're going to get this back up. And then we're going to address this problem, which I've already started to. Now, what happened was, here, I'm just going to flip this thing up right here. What happened was, somehow the mic jack must have gotten broken out along the way. Because somebody had, I'm trying to get this chrome on protective, man, there we go. Okay, so now, this, do you see the nut and all the glue? Okay, that's unacceptable. That's just totally unacceptable. So, we're going to switch this, we're going to put another mic jack in here. But this is how we repair it. We're going to repair that. We're going to drill, first of all, his echo board. Now, you guys use these aftermarket echo boards, you just bolt them straight to the panel. But look at how far that shank sticks out, okay? The aftermarket knobs that go on there sometimes accommodate for that length, sometimes they don't. On this one, it does. However, I don't want to see aftermarket knobs on the front of this, what's going to be a very pretty 2000. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to make a countersink type deal to go in here. And we're going to take this whole control, and we're going to sink it back. And you can see when they put it in, it was cracked right here. That's because when they were drilling it, nobody kept their hand on here with one hand or braced this. They just went in the front and went, meh. Well, that's what happens. Stuff like this. Now, I'm going to put a little, I just now noticed that. So we're going to put a little splint across that crack on the back while we've got this out before I put the shim in to bring this back. Now, what's going to happen is this is going to end up sinking back into the face about 1/4 inch, maybe a little more. But at that point, I can take a set of old diamond cut Cobra 2000 knobs and put them on there, and it's going to look like a nice Cobra 2000 echo board. The other thing we're going to do is, I'm going to do some skullduggery on this. We had to pull his other tin off to address this problem. And it was pretty gnarly, so we just grabbed another tin off another radio. The way you take these off, guys, is with a heat gun. That's the way I do it. Okay, we've got on our other iron over there. I don't know if you see. No, you can't. It's got a heat wand with different tips. You use a very fine tip, medium heat, which on that one is about 500 degrees. And you stay in the middle of this tin. You start here. The heat will melt this chrome in a heartbeat. You got to stay away from that, okay? You stay in the middle with a fine point heat gun, and you get this edge to pop. See that hole right there? You heat it up, take a little pin or something in the back, pop it. And once that pops, you put a piece of tape down this rail, outer edge. You put a piece of tape down this rail, outer edge, okay? Once this side pops up, you take any kind of a flat surface, any kind of a razor blade, carefully, because you'll cut through the tape, or just anything flat and strong, and you heat it in the middle. You come down, and you'll find you can just go boop, 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 take the whole thing. Now, when you get down here, you got to be careful, because these will bend very easily. I took this one to my buddy's body shop this morning and had him dolly this out nice and straight, as good as we could. So what's going to happen is the other mic jack is broke and gone, busted. So we cut it out here. Okay. We've also cut the ring out of another face. The same face we got this tin off of, and the same radio we got those meters out of. We're going to take this ring. We're going to epoxy it to this tin so it looks right. At that point, this will be addressed and done and sunk in. We'll pop the appropriate hole in here in the tin. Then we're going to slide this on. Everything's going to be covered and done. This is going to slide in looking like it should now. Instead of being all bubbled out and pushed out, and you can see all of this tape or this glue and garbage are on the outside. This is what was sticking out of the front of the radio, all this goop. We don't want to see that. All you're supposed to see is this nice chrome ring coming through there like that. So this is the way we do it. Guess we got to do some body work here. Section this out. Get you got the right saw blade on your Dremel to do it. We use at slow speed because you'll melt the plastic. We use one like this. Really slow speed, just fast enough to cut the plastic. You get it too fast, you're going to melt the plastic right back together while you're cutting it. Don't do that. So this piece is going to be affixed to the vanity plate. The vanity plate's going to get recovered in a different style because between me and Doc, this thing's been completely restored as far as I'm concerned. We're going to clean up this. We're going to redo this tin the way we do all these tins. And I'm going to get him some new lettering here. We saved a Cobra badge off of another one. And I could, if I wanted to, put the badge, the Cobra emblem on top or on the bottom. I could trim this one out, but it would just look weird. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to recover this with brushed nickel. We have a material for that. And then Product of Dynascan is going to disappear. All this is going to disappear for a moment. We're going to re-letter the Cobra 2000 part. And then the snake is going to be cut out on a nice little triangle with a black border. And that's going to go over the top so we can keep the snake on there. And then the rest of it's all going to be nice, new, fresh brushed nickel with, and we'll re-letter these with our lettering machine. That's how we're going to do it. So, ooh, look at that. So, like I said, this was a very nice radio that somebody kind of just took out of their pile and looked like it had a little bit of bad luck between the switch bank, the cracked face on the bottom, this gnarly, this is all the kind of stuff that most guys just don't want to mess with. It's not, they consider it not worth their time, which is another reason we are basically staying away from individual repairs. Full restoration or nothing anymore, guys. That's it. And prices will be posted after the first. Routine repairs, go to your local truck stop. If they ain't good enough, call me, but you're not going to like the response because it's going to be very expensive. If I have to do just a single item repair, your lower sidebands don't work, you send it to me, I fix it, you send it back. Next week your meters don't work, and now you want to send it back and have me fix the meters for nothing because I just had my hands in your radio. No, not no more. These radios don't come back to you until I say they're ready. And that's something else. Time frame, guys. The time frame is when I say they're done, they're done. If you want that certificate of calibration from me on one of these radios, which, believe me, is worth its weight in gold, you send them in and get them completely done. Okay, this gentleman's very tech savvy. He did most of his already. There was just a problem with this one that hides and most guys haven't seen. I'm just lucky and I've seen it before, so we jumped right on it. But now we're going to address cosmetics. Now, he didn't send it in for all this, but this guy's a very good customer and a good friend, so we're gonna take care of him. We're going to make sure this thing's as solid as it can be when it goes back. So get a good look at it. Once again, when you guys work on this face, tilt the freaking thing down and put the right screws back in the face. That is not the right screw. That is an internal screw for anything else countersunk. The ones that are supposed to be on here have a beveled head, and I'll show you that at the end of the video. Meantime, we're going to do some speedy motion stuff and put the rest of this face back together, and we'll check it out at the end. Thanks, guys. Okay. We finally got all the bugs out of Doc's radio here. We've got the meters properly illuminated evenly. Frequency display running right with seconds on his counter. He's got receive audio now. I believe we're plugged into another speaker, so his receive audio is back. His mic jack is now put in properly, and if you guys seen earlier in the video, this was all cut up. And then his echo board control, which was sticking way out here and had knobs taken off of it, wasn't right. We repaired that. Repaired his receive light, and his switch bank had come loose. So the switch bank has been remounted and repaired. The counter has been slotted dead on frequency. Now, before this radio, and we're going to realign it just a little bit more, but before this radio, this ticker for center slot was all the way over here for regular channels. Then as you would go to different banks, you'd have to move all over the place. Okay? We do not have to do that with this unit now. Now, he's on AM. With sideband, pretty freaking close. With the other sideband, right on. Now, he has many, many banks of channels in this thing that were here when he bought it. However, this model, this later 2000 chassis, is not as broadbanded as the older ones, and it doesn't do well. We helped it out by replacing the VCO coil, this mixer coil in this line, and putting a regular MB8719 chip in it. Okay, that took care of all that. So now, when he goes through his extra banks, 26, 63, 50. When he goes to the last one he's got, 2804. Now this last one is close to the edge of being out of band. So he's got to grab his clarifier just a little bit. Now he's not all over the place trying to find center slot on each band. Go 2 bands back. Back on regular channels. Okay. He opted, because he's a ham operator, just to have no lowers and have the uppers work as good as they could. So we've got them all the way up to, I believe, to 2803 or 2830 or something like that. See, it starts to lose it up here. There it is. 2820 is his highest channel, which gets him right into the 10 meter band. Now, if I adjust the VCO any more in either direction, we're going to lose banks. And we don't want to do that. So now, instead of them being all over the place, they're at least tolerable. Okay? The face of the radio is now pristine again. It's transmitting, it's receiving, it's working fine. It only does the normal, I don't know, I might plug that. It only does normal Cobra 2000 power. I don't know where I've got his carrier set right now. It came in full tilt boogie. I don't believe we're going to leave it that way, but let's see here. I know I got him set at a 2-wide day key. Swinging 16 watts of PEP. That's not too bad. Audio. It's got a really weird waveform, and I don't understand why, but it sounds just fine, actually. But I'm trying to figure out, it could be one of my jumpers or anything. But here's AM on my Kenwood. Audio 1, 2. So now this is with the mic gain almost open, almost wide open. That's mic gain wide open. And she is, she's doing her thing. It's got plenty of audio. It's got plenty of receive audio. Something else this thing would do, and if you guys don't realize it, this radio, when you start having a problem with the switch, and now you notice we can shut the radio off and on. That was another problem that he actually described. That's repaired. But there's 2 things that could cause that to happen. Yes, the power switch. But the other thing is, in this counter, right back in here, is an SCR. And that SCR is telling this counter to flip back and forth between this clock and the frequency display. It also ground loops through this conglomerate. This whole thing is getting switched on your power switch, Most radios you would assume is negative power or positive power that you're switching there. No. On a Cobra 2000, you're flipping a negative signal. It's going to that frequency display that's telling everything to switch around, turn on. So, the other thing was with this knob that was sticking out way beyond where it should have. I'll show you how you guys how to fix that. If you get in there and you take a good look, let's see if we can get in there and get a good look. You can kind of see that square in front of the echo control, okay? There you go. There's a good shot of it. All we did was take a radio face and cut out 2 squares around where the knobs come through. Then we took the metal part of the radio face and cut a nice little shim to mount our actual control to, and we glued them together in layers until they got to the right height for us to put a set of diamond cut Cobra knobs back on the front of the radio. So it looks like it should. It looks like Cobra put it in. I think Doc's going to be extremely happy with this radio. Took a little more. What was gnarly was, I'll tell you what really bothered me when it came in more than anything, I don't know if I can find it now. We might throw in the damn thing. Was this mic jack was horrid. This mic jack came in. They had a star washer on here. This was all pushed out. Some kind of glue all the way around it just smeared. Now, this is a panel. This is a tin off of a different radio. We have the material to recover these to make them look new. However, looking at the rest of the unit, while it is a very, very nice unit, I believe that redoing this plate like brand new would have made it look out of place. So what we did was we just kind of left it nostalgic, kind of left it with its years of wear and whatnot, but we cleaned it up real good and glued it back on real good. So, Doc, there it is. Everything that you wanted fixed is fixed, plus the stuff that I wouldn't let it go without fixing. So, there you go. George in Texas, one of our most patient and valued customers and friends. This is one of his goodies. We did not Super Duty this radio, and I'll tell you why. It has not been messed with. Look inside there, guys. Okay? You don't see cut ties. Those are all factory ties. Okay? The channel kit was done nicely. I would have done it to the front. You know, we've already got an echo board to the front. Nobody uses an auxiliary. You can put that through this auxiliary and make it look just as nice as that echo board control we did. But, nevertheless, it was put in nicely. Okay? Everything in the radio has been done nicely. So, if I were to Super Duty this thing, I mean, I've done several, and when I say several, I mean like 5 or 6 Super Duty 2000s for Doc. And he loves them all. And the note he sent with this one says, do what you want to do to it. Looking at the purity of this radio, how it survived, what it survived. I mean, at one point, the face was smashed up, even before it got here. And then we had a little accident here that we straightened up. Things happen, guys. Look at the face. I mean, it's a very nice looking face. So, and the lid is nice. He has a nice regular. This is the way, if you were to buy one back in the 70s, this is the way you should have set it up. Exactly like this. With that channel kit, leaving the switches alone so you can still use all your functions. If you're going to add amenities, guys, make it look like the factory put it in. There's nothing that aggravates me more than seeing a radio come in with aftermarket knobs sticking out the freaking here and I can see your shank. Another than one of my pet peeves, and I mentioned it in an earlier video. Now you see we have the proper bezel screws in the front of this radio. These are beveled over the top, okay? They are not flat countersunk screws, okay? Those are decorative countersunk screws, and I think I've got all 4 of them in at this point. Yes, we do. All right, so we got all 4 of them in. Going to give it a little bath, put the lids on it, and if somebody else wants something, we'll take care of them as soon as we can. But there it is, guys. The Plotkin 2000 is, it's got more, it's more than what he asked for, but we always give him more than what he asked for, because he always does more for us than he should. So, Doc, there you go. You've got a perfect regular 2000. Every light works. Seconds on the counter. Echo board works, that it's in the proper place. The mic's not sticking out with a ton of glue on it. You don't have to chase your clarifier anymore. Big knob on 1 o'clock, little knob on 12 o'clock. little minor adjustments from there, but you're not talking a half a turn anymore to get on center slot when you go to your extra banks. New meters, new VCO coil, new PLL chip, just to get all these channels that we do have working properly. So there it is. Doc, I hope you enjoy it. Took a little more time than we thought, but you know me. I don't let them go half-baked. So there you go. Now, quick message for everybody. As of the first of the year, and then we've talked about it, I was screaming we just weren't going to take any more repairs. We've changed that policy, and I think this is the way we're going to do it. There will be no work done as of February, the first week of February, on the very first week of the month. This joint's closed, guys. 409 needs some time to regroup his brain, tickle his wife on the fanny, and have a good time a little bit instead of playing with your stuff. I've been at this for 3 years straight, and it's just getting ridiculous. As much as I love doing this work for you guys and the custom work, if you are not within driving distance, okay, do not call about a repair unless you're willing to pay an outrageous amount of bench labor. And this is why. You guys send me one of these and your sidebands don't work. I fix your sidebands. I ship it back to you in California. It gets to California. Now from beat from here to California in a box, 3 of the lights quit working. Now you're pissed. All lights worked when you send it. That's all going to stop. If you cannot drive your radio here or your amp or whatever here, then the only option you have with us is a total restoration. Be it a 2000, be it a DAC, be it a whatever. Now, the DACs we convert. Now, then you got to get into our conversions where we gut them and rebuild them. We are going to concentrate on those. We are going to concentrate on our custom installs like our SUPERDUTY and SUPERDUTY Generation 3 modules and our low drive driver modules. Okay? And we're going to be concentrating on our new brand of amps, the Birdcage. We got our new emblem coming. Okay, you guys are going to think it's kind of cool, I think. But we're going to concentrate on what I wanted to concentrate on when I came back. I love it that you guys trust us enough to repair some of this rare equipment. That's great. But I said it in the beginning. I'm going to say it again. This is not a repair shop. This is a hot rod shop for healthy radios that deserve to live longer. Okay? If you have a dog and you want it defleed, it's not cheap. And here's the time frame, guys. Well, when's it going to be done? When I call you and say it's done. Okay? Because from now on, we're not doing anything but custom, unless it's a repair that you don't mind paying $75 an hour bench labor with no cap, plus parts. Because if you're going to send me a radio to fix one problem and you can't drive it here, it's going to be more of a problem for you and I both to not do what needs to be done to the radio completely in one shot than it's worth for either one of us. So if you're not within a comfortable driving distance to me, do not call about a repair. You can call about a restoration, and if it's got a cord on it, we'll restore it. We got those. We got Kenwoods. We got 2000s. 2000. You don't think we restore 2000s? 142s? We've got them all in here, guys. This year has been, and I have to apologize to some of the guys that's custom work. This year was a year of growth that we did not anticipate. I'm a radio guy. I never said I was a businessman. Now my wife knows business, and she's trying to help me be a better businessman. However, I am one person, and that means we have to narrow our scope of what we're doing, and that means getting back into what I want to do, which is what I opened this shop for, was to take healthy radios that are maybe need a little something, bring them up to date so you can use them for another 40 years. Okay? Case in point, everybody loves the Cobra 2000 when they hear one on the air. Then when they see it on a watt meter, they get their feelings hurt because their buddy's Galaxy Saturn does 30 watts a peak. Then you hook this 2000 up, you only see 12, 15, 18 watts a peak. And you're like, what's a flippity flop? Well, that's why the audio sounds the way it does. It's not being stretched to its limit. So what we did was we have 3 boards. Let me go over your options for conversions real quick. And like I said, as of the first, we're sticking all of it. We have a single pill, low drive driver module. And what we mean by that is, if you have a low drive amp, Pride DX300, a Dominator, any of those low drive guys, okay, Firebird 300, Firebird 500, they want a 2-watt dead key, whatever swing. We know that these amps will accept 20 watts of RMS because we run sideband on them all the time. Sideband power is RMS power, no carrier. Okay, so if we keep the carriers low, we can hit them with 20 watts of RMS, and that's what that board does. It takes that, here, let's look at your Galaxy Saturn. You look at it in peak watts, it's 30 watts, but you flip that slug down to RMS, or average is actually what it is. When you flip it to average power, you see 6, 8, 10 watts from a 1 watt carrier. Now, you're impressed on peak because you see all that peak on the peak scale, 30, 40 watts. Here, you can take two amplifiers, both of them. They're both doing 50 watts of average power. But I can make this one peak 75, and I can make this one peak 100. Which one's going to be louder? The one that peaks 100. But they're still only 50 watts. Okay? You have to understand that peak is a unit of audible measurement pertaining to the loudness of your actual power. Okay? And until you guys start to get that in your brain, you're chasing your tail. Okay, first thing you need to get under control is your average power levels. Then you can play around with your peak. Okay, so our first board will, in any radio, dead key all the way down to an eighth of a watt, and and peak swing RMS no more than 20 on a bird slug on AM. So now from a 1 watt carrier, instead of getting 810, from a 1 watt carrier you're getting 20. And then if you look at the PEP on that 20, it's 110, 150 watts. It's loud. That's what that driver board does. Then we have our 2-pill. We've just started building SD 1446 boards. Those are more drivers. Stuff for like driving a Collins, driving a bird cage, something like that. Okay. And then after that, we have a big 4-pill that we build. And that's, one's going in a radio that I'm going to do pretty soon. For this customer, as a matter of fact. And we do build that amplifier as a bass amp for, average use. After that, guys, I don't want to hear about no 6, 8, 10, 12, 164 pill garbage. In this shop, as far as I'm concerned, pills are not amplifiers. They're toys. They're trinket toys to put in your radios to make the real stuff jump and do what it's supposed to do. Now that's an amplifier. That is a Birdcage 1000. Now it's in a JB 2000 case, yes. But inside that is nothing like a JB 2000. That's a pair of 3-500 ZGs, okay, with a Collins tuning network, triplet meter set, Heathkit SB220 high voltage transformer, and that's the way we build all our Birdcage amps. Way big, way stout. And if you need one with a driver in it because you don't have something with like one of our boards, we can do that too. Single 3-500 Z tubes in this shop are $1,650. Non-negotiable, no trade-ins. The 2-tube is $2,250. No trade-ins, no goofiness, cash. Something else you guys need to keep in mind is we are now a Penta Labs tube dealer authorized, which means I go directly to Penta Labs to get what I need. We have a problem, I call their engineer. We will be using Penta products in all of our Birdcage amplifiers. So there will be, now the 3 models of that is we have the single, 2, and 3-tuber. So you can get a 500, a kilowatt, or a 1.5 kilowatt. The 1.5 kilowatt is $3,250. If you want a band switch, you got to call me. We have to talk about that. Single banded amps like this will do 12 to 10 meters. 12 to 10 meters. Input tuning, the whole 9 yards. Believe me, I sit here 2,500 watts with that amp every day, knocks your teeth out. One of these days, you guys are going to get hip to the real plan around here. So, I'm sorry to say, you guys with the average repairs, if you want us to do it and you're not in driving distance, we will be more than happy to work something out with you, but you're not going to like the arrangements. I'm going to tell you right now. Repairs take my time from the $800, $1,000, $1,200 radios that I'm supposed to be getting built for these guys. Okay, and I'm over here doing a $40 repair while a $1,000 radio's waiting. That is not why I opened up this shop. It's not fair to you guys, and it's not fair to me. I'm one person. The theme, the mission statement of this shop is to take as many of these old radios as we can, get them in the hands of people who want to get them back into this hobby and make them as viable for as long as we possibly can with quality audio. When we yell clean audio Chicago around here, folks, we mean it. That's not just something we yell. That's a freaking motto, okay? It's a belief. So I'm sorry to say we are going to change up some stuff. If you're not in driving distance, call me, and we'll see what we can work out if you need a repair. But other than that, honestly, if you're not in driving distance and it needs to be fixed, send it in and we'll fix the whole damn radio. Reasonably. But I will not turn it loose until I believe it's done. Okay? We do this. I do this out of my home. When you guys go to the website, that's my home address. Keep in mind we shoot back. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, you know where your stuff is. You guys go online, you see the website, you see the YouTube channel, you see the eBay store. We're pretty well got our feet planted, okay? So if you want some of the custom stuff that comes out of here, and quite honestly, I'm going to poke my chest out a little bit here. There is nobody on the face of this planet doing what we do in this shop to these radios. And I can line up 10, 12 guys who've been in this for 40 years that'll tell you the same thing. I'm a sick man when it comes to this stuff, and I come up with the sickest shit I can for you guys. We're getting ready to build a DAC 10 with a 3-500ZG final in it. Okay? That's something else. I got to learn when to start telling you guys no. Because, that's going to be a wicked box. Near field exposure to worry about. I got to cage the tube. All kinds of stuff. So, you guys don't realize, when you ask for a time frame, how am I going to give you a time frame to build a radio that there is no plan for? It's in my head. I got a radio chassis. I got a pile of tubes. I got a pile of transformers. We've got your box. We're going to build your radio. But when you get that radio, I promise you, it's the last radio you're ever going to buy or talk on. Everybody gets the speech when they call me about these. You need to sit down with yourself and a beer, a joint, whatever makes you happy. You need to sit down and you need to write down, what do you want in your radio? How many times have you sat down in front of a base station and went, well, this is nice, but I'm going to have my technician add this. Stop all that. If you're one of those guys that's getting ready to send me a deck, sit down. Think of everything you want in that radio. Because once I rip the panties off of it, boys and girls, I'm going to have my way with it. We're going to rip everything out of it. It's going to be 409-atized. And all the guys that are running these DACs that we build will tell you, they wouldn't trade them for nothing in the world. So, I think we've pretty well carved out our niche around here. In order to keep true to what we're trying to do, we have to scale back some things that are just not productive in this shop. One of them is out-of-state repairs that cost me more in shipping and time than it's worth, and making my guys who have spent good cash on cool-ass shit that they're waiting for, and I can't get it done because I'm too busy doing quick repairs for next to nothing. And it's not nothing personal, guys. We're just sticking to restorations and custom work from now on. I'm not saying no. What I'm saying is you're not going to like the terms if you want to send it in. Okay, now if you got a CPI 2000, one of them rare-ass radios, call me. But do not expect a 2-week wait time. Okay? Do not expect a 2-month wait time. The wait time is when 409 calls you back and says, hey, now I've got it right, and I will ship it back to you. Here's your bill. If you can't agree with that, head on down the road. Bell's does work. Some guys over in Indiana does work. You go down there to John Boy, Mississippi. There's all kinds of guys that do work. But there ain't a city. You can go down there and see D-Rail. But he'll be one of the first ones to tell you, you don't want to fuck with one of my DACs. You're going to lose. I don't care how much audio he puts in them. He does good work for what he does. But it ain't one of my DACs. Stryker will never compare to one of my DACs. So, or any one of my custom builds. Go to the website, boys and girls, www.409radios.com. Go to the bottom of any page and look at all the custom builds. And if you can find another guy on the internet that's doing the kind of quality rebuilds from nothing that we're doing, I'd like to meet that man and shake his hand. Might do some business with him. Or woman, whoever it is. Broads can wave a soldering iron too, guys. Don't believe they can. I've met a couple of chick technicians that'll whoop your ass. So, if somebody's got talent and they can do what I do, and we're looking for helpers in here. If you're in the Chicago Heights area of Illinois, you're young, you got some time, and you want an education that $1 million can't buy you today because they don't teach it no more. We'll teach you. But you got to give the time. And once you've given the time and you get good enough, we start turning you loose on the customer's work. You get a commission on jobs you do. There's a whole lot going on around here. We need some youngsters to bless with the knowledge to keep doing what we're doing. We need guys who are still in this business. They got all that stuff. Now here, the one thing we will take in as far as repairs without question are tube amps. Sweep tubes, whatever. If it's an amplifier, tube amplifier, we will take care of it. If you've got one of those fighting amps that is made to key 3 times and win your $2 trophy, so you could spend another $600 on transistors, so you can go win another $2 trophy, this is not your house. You need to go see 123 or ICA or one of those guys. We don't build fighting anything around here. We'll make you a nice radio. I got a couple guys that like to get on Super Bowl and do their thing, but they pay dearly to get my audio in that kind of a radio. Okay? Anybody that has one of my units will tell you, everybody around them knows that that's my goods when they hit that button. So it's not, you know, like I said, we've carved our niche, we've planted our feet, we've proven ourselves worthy. You guys who have the money, the time, and the fortitude and the foresight to see the kind of stuff that we can crank out of here, and you'd like to be a part of it, give us a call. There's anything we can do for you, give us a call. But please keep in mind, this is not, for the 900th time, this is not a CB repair shop. We will restore them completely. But if you're not within driving distance and you get a radio fixed and you can't bring it back if there's another problem so we can sit down and talk about what's going on, then you need to find somebody else to do that work for you. Okay? Not even on a conversion anymore will we do a repair. We used to take them in if they had small problems. Somebody wants a conversion, we take care of the small problems. Small problems cost almost as much as the damn conversion we were doing. No more. If they're not transmitting and receiving on AM, upper sideband, and lower sideband, at least transmitting and receiving somewhat, then they need more help than this shop is going to give them. At least not for less than $65, $75 an hour, plus parts. That's it. We've earned the right. We've earned the title. Anybody wants to take a shot at the title and put one of their radios up against mine, come on with it. We like doing challenges on YouTube. I like taking people's money. Got no problem with it. I've been doing this shit since I was 9 years old, boys and girls. I'm 52 this year. Do you really think there's anybody out there that wants to play with me? I don't think so. So, you know, here. Anybody can make a radio look good. Anybody can try to make a radio sound good. But there ain't a swinging soldering iron on the face of the planet turns out what we turn out quality-wise, period. So there it is. That's the way we're going to do things next year. If that's not acceptable, find yourself another shop. And when they're done screwing your stuff up, call me. That's the way it goes. George, we put love into this for you. I hope you enjoy it. As far as the rest of the 409 family members who have been patient and helped us get along and get through this year, we love you. We thank you. And we got a highlight reel coming here in a couple of weeks of all the cool shit we did this year. And we're going to get this off to the doc, along with his other 7, 8, 9 radios that he's got here, because I think he just wants to keep me in business. God bless all of you. Happy New Year, Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, Hanukkah, whatever the flip it is, whatever you do. And be safe and wash your God blessed hands. 7 3s.